Hare Krishna. So we completed yesterday 17th chapter, the ecstatic love. So we'll see from waves of devotion also what we can learn. First we saw from NOD what Rupa Goswami said with Prabhupada commentaries and everything. Now we will see that same chapter with the waves of devotion. Ecstatic love. This is actually a third wave. First two waves we have discussed, and now the third wave, Eastern wave. So, as mentioned in the chapter 2, the purpose of sadhana bhakti is to awake bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is not ultimate, but it is to awake bhava. There are two types. One is, with the executing devotional service with our present senses and gradually rising to the platform of spontaneous love. So, sadhana and sadhya. What is sadhana? It's the process which we have to follow. And sadhya is a goal. What is the goal? What is the sadhya is bhava. Bhava is the goal. And the process to achieve that goal is sadhana. So Srila Prabhupada says within the stage of regulative principles of devotional service, there are two divisions, executive and effective. Sadhana, sadhya. Executive means the process. The effective means goal. The effective portion of devotional service is called bhava or ecstasy. Sadhana is the executive. What we have to execute. Sadhana. Because it involves execution of devotional practice. Bhava is effective because it is an effect of the practice. What we are practicing sadhana bhakti, the result will be bhava. Bhava will not come without any practice. As per the scriptural rules and regulations, we need to follow the what Rupa Goswami said, what Prabhupada said, what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, and what Sukadeva Goswami says in Bhagavatam. When we follow this process, then the result will be bhava, sadhana and sadhya. So, regulative principles of devotional service is a translation of Chita Rupa, not Vedi sadhana. So, Chita Rupa and Bhava Rupa. Bhava Rupa, Uttam Bhakti is divided into Chesta Rupa and Bhava Rupa. And Chesta Rupa is endeavor. We are endeavoring, but not much emotions. But Bhava Rupa is with emotions. Then Chesta Rupa is sadhana and sadhya, divided into two types. So what is definition and characteristics of Bhava Bhakti? Pure love we are discussing, ecstatic love. What is that Bhava? Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma प्रेम सूर्यांशु सम्यभाग रुचिभिश्चित्त मर्ष्णेय कृत असौ भव उच्यते. When devotional service is executed, when devotional service is situated on transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a ray of sunlight of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service means that devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and it is called bhava emotions. Jnana without bhakti that makes the heart hard. Bhakti with the emotions makes the heart soft. So, sure, the primary characteristics of Bhava Bhakti is Shuddha Sattva Vishesha. Wherein Shuddha Sattva enters devotee's heart, Shuddha Sattva is not material mode of goodness, but Lord's internal potency whose function is to revive the living entity's dormant love for Krishna. Shuddha Sattva Vishesha. Like some seed is there, that seed needs sunlight and water to grow in the sand. Similarly, our bhakti, that where sadhana bhakti, the guru gives us instructions and everything. That is called a seed. Guru's instruction is a seed, and that seed needs watering, hearing, and reading, chanting, and then it grows. Then it grows with the sunlight. That needs sunlight also. What is that sunlight? That similarly, love of Godhead is like a seed lying dormant in the heart of living entity. It cannot grow without touch of the Lord's whole devotional energy, Shuddha Sattva. Naturally, regarding prema and everything, Shuddha Sattva is very important. One cannot perform bhakti under three modes: Rajoguna and Tamoguna, passion and ignorance. When a person eagerly wants to serve the Lord, Shuddha Sattva potency may enter inside his heart through the mercy of pure devotee. When then Shuddha Sattva touches her heart, it energizes the seed of prema and causes it to sprout. Consequently, Rupa Goswami describes bhava as a premankura, the sprouting of prema. Without that, it is a mercy which makes that seed sprout. The seed of prema, Krishna prema, by our intense desire to please pure devotees. When we serve them, then they will bless us, and with that blessing, that prema will evoke. Bhava is a prema, but in a preliminary stage. Bhava, bhakti, and prema bhakti. Bhava is just before the prema. Budding stage of prema is called bhava. This is also indicated by term premas suryanshu, ray of sun of prema. Bhava is the sun ray. Prema is the sun itself. The sun and sun rays are qualitatively non-different, but there is a distinction between quantitative intensity and bhava is the onset of prema. When one achieves bhava, the full light of prema will also manifest very quickly. Like when the flower in the budding stage, eventually it is going to blossom. When we reach bhava bhakti, then naturally the prema bhakti will sprout. How that Shuddha Sattva descends, bhava. According to Rupa Goswami, Shuddha Sattva is composed of Samvit and Alladini potencies. Samvit is a cognitive knowledge giving potency, and Alladini is devotional potency. The mercy is called Alladini. Samvit means knowledge. Samvit Shakti, the Lord's own cognitive potential, descends into the heart and empowers one to perceive and know Krishna. Those who are not uh, having that mercy, that that knowledge will not descend. He will think Krishna is just a photo. When we hear that day will come, when we hear Krishna is the Supreme Person, Ham Bija Prajapita. Ham Sarvasya Prabhu Mattam Sarva Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvita. So Ham Sarvasya Prabhu, Krishna is the one who is already everywhere. And when we understand this, then we surrender. Why we have to surrender to company, parents, and everything? That is default. Devotee will respect them also. But when we understand that Krishna is that is the touch. We might have heard so many times, but it will not click to that person. That Samvit Shakti, the Krishna Shakti, that Samvit Shakti comes and hits us that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Alladini is a devotional potency. Samvit Shakti, the Lord's own cognitive potency, descends into the heart and empowers one to perceive and know Krishna. Lord's devotional potency, Alladini, also descends into the heart, empowering one to fully manifest blissful love of Godhead. Alladini Shakti is Radharani's mercy. That love for Krishna will be evoked by Alladini Shakti, by Radharani's mercy. When divine potencies of cognition and affection, Samvit and Alladini combine in the heart, one can begin to fully relish Krishna as the supreme object of love. This is called Bhava Bhakti. That is a budding stage of pure love. The primary characteristics are these. Primary characteristics are Shuddha Sattva, Visheshatma. Shuddha Sattva. How Shuddha Sattva descends, we discussed. And then secondary characteristics are it softens the heart and gives rise to various tastes. How it softens the heart? A soft heart is one easily moved or changed by emotion. If you see a small child, देखो देखो भूत आ रहा है, तो you will immediately accept. No? You will accept it as a truth. Child, he believes whatever we tell. That is called innocence. Krishna. Devotees are also like that. They don't understand what is when Govinda said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that you are embracing this small boy. This boy's mother is widow, and what people will think. So Mahaprabhu never thought like that. So you are able to correct me only, and you think Krishna doesn't know. So Mahaprabhu rejected, because that innocence is very important in bhakti. So As we grow, that respect and faith that the pure devotee doesn't do small mistakes is very, very important. Should remain child. Prabhupada used to tell, Caesar's wife is above suspicion. Guru, whatever he does, should not doubt. So, Srila Prabhupada explains in this connection there is a statement in Tantras that ecstasy is the first symptom of pure love of personality. And then shedding tear, Ashtava Satvik Vikar. Primary and secondary characteristics. Primary is to bhava and prema. And then secondary is shedding tears, Ashtasatvik Vikar. So what is that? Bhava. Bhava means, in brief, the characteristics of devotee on the platform of Bhava is that his heart is very easily moved by Krishna conscious stimulation. His heart is very soft. You can even very easily, somebody can cheat also. But if you cheat devotee, Krishna will cheat. But issue is very soft. There are three kinds of tastes or devotional desires that blossom when one achieves stage of bhava. Three kinds of tastes. The bhava symptom. Prati abhilasha, anukulya abhilasha, and sauharda abhilasha. Prati prapti abhilasha, desire to achieve Krishna. Anukulya abhilasha, desire to please Krishna with various services. Sauharda abhilasha, desire to close at heart with Krishna. Desire to be close heart. These are the symptoms of three kinds of tastes or devotional desires that blossom when bhava bhakti is aroused. These three: prema abhilasha, nukula abhilasha, sauharda abhilasha. What is the nature of bhava? When bhava appears, it preemanates from consciousness to such an extent that it appears to become one with the mind. Just as iron rod placed eventually becomes permit the qualities of fire. So those who are Krishna conscious, when we are constantly in touch with Krishna, then we will also show the symptoms of bhava and prema. But ours is not consistently in touch with Krishna consciousness. This condition is called tadatmaka. The Prabhupada describes this state as samadhi, consistent of this bhava, this consciousness is called samadhi. What is samadhi? After the outward appearance of these ecstatic symptoms, they stay within the mind, and continuation of ecstasy is called samadhi. Yesterday we discussed. Samadhi means that ecstasy will remain consistent, then that is called samadhi. Bhava is relishable by nature, and it also causes one to taste and realize the sweet pastimes of Lord. Srila Prabhupada states, this stage of appreciation becomes the cause of future exchanges of loving affairs with the Lord. So yesterday we discussed how to achieve that bhava and prema bhakti. So one is by ardent spiritual practice, by mercy of Krishna or his devotees. These two. by constant associating with devotees who has that bhava bhakti or prema bhakti. Otherwise, by special mercy of Krishna, discussed yesterday. Associating with pure devotees, synonymously with executing practice of devotional service. A pure devotee has no business other than hearing and chanting about Krishna. Therefore, associating with pure devotee automatically implies practicing devotional service. There in spiritual world, there is no software company, there is no factories. With there, we don't need to show that expertise of working in companies or anything. We are there, we have to show how we can serve the Lord. So Prabhupada tells once constantly associate with pure devotees who are engaged morning and evening in chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. In this way, one will get chance to purify his heart and develop this ecstatic pure love. Bhava Bhakti is up to that by practice and mercy, by executive and effective, by Vaidhi and Raganaga practice. So this we can. We'll see something the heartfelt blessings. Krishna or his devotee may bestow heartfelt blessings. Sukha Samhita illustrates heartfelt blessings from Krishna. While still within the womb of his mother, Sukadeva Goswami achieved bhava. Since he had not yet come out of the womb or to see or hear the Lord, one can surmise that he attained this perfection by Lord's heartfelt blessings. He saw that, we are like Parikshit Maharaj also. He saw the Supreme Lord's darshan in the womb because that is the mercy of Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami also. Sukadeva Goswami is such that 18 years he stayed in the womb of his mother. He was not liking to come out. So, heartfelt wishes of a devotee, heartfelt blessings of a Supreme Lord. But Supreme Lord's heartfelt blessings is very difficult. Very rarely people will get. But devotees whom we serve, they will shower heartfelt blessings. So now we will start with the symptoms. 18th chapter. In the 18th chapter, we will see what are the symptoms of this pure love that we will see today. Characteristics of one in ecstatic love. This is 18th chapter. So Rupa Goswami describes the characteristics of a person who has actually developed his ecstatic love for Krishna. The characteristics are as follows. Can somebody read?
Yes, Jail alert. Karthik Prabhu.
First, he is always anxious to utilize his time in the devotional service of the Lord. He does not like to be idle. He wants service always, 24 hours a day, without deviation. Second, he is always reserved and preservant. Third, he is always detached from all material attractions. Fourth, he does not long for any material respect in return for his activities. Fifth, He is always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy upon him. Sixth, he is always very eager to serve the Lord faithfully. Seventh, he is very much attached to the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Eighth, he is always eager to describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Ninth, he is very pleased to live in a place where the Lord's pastimes are performed. For example, Mathura, Vrindavan, or Dwarka.
So these are the 9 characteristics of the symptoms that he has developed ecstatic love for Krishna. So those, we should be like what are the characteristics of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra? The characteristics are very important. Not to identify who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, who is Vaishya, and Shudra. Like that, the symptoms of the characteristics of ecstatic love for Krishna. These are the 9 characteristics. You know? So these 9 characteristics we will study little more detail. He is always anxious to utilize his time in devotional service of the Lord. You know? No time is. Where this will come? Can somebody tell? In nectar of instruction, the essence of all instructions is what? He does not like to be idle. He wants service always, 24 hours a day, without division. This is the first symptom that he will not waste single moment of time, other than Krishna consciousness. Not wasting time means not balance between material and spiritual services. Only for Krishna, Krishna's services. No other services other than Krishna. And 24 hours a day, like Srila Prabhupada was being asked, Prabhupada, you are sick now, you don't need to give a lecture on FM. So Prabhupada said, don't take away my privilege to serve Krishna. So this is the first symptom. No time pass. If somebody wants, that's why there is no holiday in Krishna consciousness. Every day is a holiday for Krishna consciousness. Those who have developed this ecstasy, you will see more like so this is the essence of nectar of all instructions, is what. Tannamarupacharitadi sukirtanam smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya Tishtan vrajetanuragi jananugami kalam nayeda kilamiti upadesha saram. So what is the upadesha saram? The essence of all instructions is what? Somebody read?
Essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time 24 hours a day in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service.
So this is the essence of all advice in Nectar of Instruction. And here what Rupa Goswami, the first characteristics of the one who has developed ecstatic love is he will not waste time 24 hours a day. One should always. How will we engaged in the night time? Anybody tell? Can we sleep? How are we to utilize one's time in devotional service? Okay, Aman Bro.
Only by taking rest so that we can perform services again next day.
Okay. Because body is material, so it needs rest too. Okay, when we are resting also, one should always in the dream also, like Radhesham Prabhu, when he was preaching, in the dream also the students will come. When we are actually desiring to preach, we heard the Radhesham Prabhu used to personally tell that when you are really trying to cultivate seriously some boys, that boys will come. You are preaching to them even in their dreams. You think about them, what they would like, what they doesn't like, where they're weak, how to improve them. Such kind of services, even in the dreams also we get. And we are attached to preach and make devotees. So even in the night time. So 24 hours a day, nicely. And can you tell some similar verses from Bhagavad Gita? From Bhagavad Gita, can somebody tell?
Satatam kirtayantu mam.
So this Bhagavad Gita, Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, this will tell that what are the this
Tesham Satatayuktanam, Brother Professor.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samannita. Then mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayanta shamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Devotees will not relish in a materialistic discussion. They doesn't like to discuss all materialistic knowledge. But here tesham satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhiyogantam hinamam upayanti. Somebody who is engaged consistently, then Lord will give intelligence how to achieve Krishna. That knowledge also, that knowledge is not what you have read. Okay, what you have read, okay, but that will click. That has to be clicked within. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. How many times we have heard? He is the master of everyone, everything. Then why we don't surrender? Because it doesn't click. So tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvam dadami buddhiyogantam. Satatam is very important. Satatam. We should not, it's not for some time we practice morning program we do and whole day we will be in Maya. No. That time also we should be Krishna conscious. Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajantam nashayama bhavastam jnanadevi bhaswata. With one who is completely always engaged in devotional service, then the whatever lackings, weakness of the person, that will be removed by Krishna. And a first symptom of this pure love characteristic is to that he will not waste single moment of time. 24 hours a day, you always try to serve the Lord. This is the first. He is always anxious to utilize his time in devotional service. The Lord. And you will see that first quality with the Prabhupada's utilization of time. Can somebody read this paragraph?
Karthik Bro can continue.
An unallied devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaging his words in reciting prayers to the Lord. Within the mind, he is always thinking of Krishna, and with his body, he either offers obeisance by bowing down before the deity or engages in some other service. During these activities, during these ecstatic activities, he sometimes sheds tears. In this way, his whole life is engaged in the service of the Lord, with not a moment wasted on any other engagement.
So, unalloyed devotee means what? Who don't have any other desire than serving the devotee or serving the Guru. Serving Guru, Krishna, and Vaishnavas. No unalloyed, nothing for himself. All glories to Guru and Krishna. No glories for oneself. Who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaging his words. How he engages 24 hours? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayu ajamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane karo harir mandira marjana disu padau hari kshetra padanu sarpani. Like that, engaging everything in service. That shloka which Ambarish Maharaj used. So engaging his words, reciting prayers to the Lord, glories of the Lord, glories of devotees. Within the mind is always thinking of Krishna. By body, either offering obeisances by bowing down before the deity, engages in some other service of the Lord. So when he is doing some service, he sheds some tears also out of ecstasy. Ashtasattvik vikar will be displayed. This way, whole life is engaged in service of the Lord with not a moment wasted on any other engagement. This is the first symptom of developing ecstatic love. Next, next is what? He always reserved and perseverant. Perseverance. When a person is undisturbed, even in the presence of various causes of disturbance, is called reserved or perseverant. This is very important. When a person is undisturbed, even in the presence of various causes of disturbance, even if it is kept in difficulties, he will not be disturbed. He is perseverant. He is reserved. He has to transcend the modes, not to be affected by three modes. Somebody blasphemes us, somebody criticizes, somebody finds faults in us, somebody may defame us. Tiraskrita vipralabdha shakta shukta hatapi nafsatat pratikurvanti tadbhakta prabhavapi. Parikshit Maharaj was not disturbed by even the curse of Shringi. 5-year-old boy, Brahmana boy, cursed him to die, but he was not disturbed, he was reserved, perseverant. An example of this perseverance and reservation is found in the behavior of Parikshit, as described in the first canto, 19th chapter, verse 15. The king says the king says there are there to all the sages present before him at the time of his death. Tamnopayatam pratyantu vipra Guracha Devi Dhrutachittamishi Dijopasushta Kuhakastakshakova Dashatvalam Gayata Vishnugata. O Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul. And let Mother Ganges representative of Lord always accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord in my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmana created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. So he's not disturbed. He's cautious of not to be deviated, not to forget Krishna. He's asking, you please continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. That forgetfulness is the biggest problem. Never forget Krishna, always forget Krishna. That is the essence of all the instructions. This is a golden rule of this golden rule you might have read also previously. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So, and when one should not be disturbed by those difficulties. Can somebody read this?
You can continue, Karthik.
My dear Brahmanas, you should always accept me as your surrendered servant. I have come to the bank of the Ganges just to devote my heart and soul unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So please bless me, that Mother Ganga Ganges may also be pleased with me. Let the curse of the Brahmana's son fall upon me. I do not mind. I only request that at last moment of my life, all of you will kindly chant the holy name of Vishnu, so that I may realize his transcendental qualities.
So this example of Parikshit's behavior is remaining patient even at the last point of his life. His undisturbed condition of mind is an example of reservation. This is one of the characteristics of a devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna. Secondary qualities one should not see. What are secondary qualities? Can somebody tell? Ecstatic love. Primary characteristics, secondary characteristics.
Like secondary characteristic, the heart is sustained and the taste will be developed. Various tastes will be.
Secondary qualities of ecstatic love. Symptoms. Ashtasattvic vikar, shedding tears,
Sorry.
romanchana. So
Oh, that bibitsa, and jealous.
these can be developed without Krishna consciousness also. That's why Prabhupada is telling it as a, and Rupa Goswami said it as a secondary characteristics. First, primary characteristics are these. One should not waste time, always engage in Krishna's service. Next, one should be reserved, perseverant. One should not be disturbed by the disturbances outside world. Now, these are the primary characteristics of love, ecstatic love. No, one should not see, अरे ये तो बहुत रोता है, इनका आंखों में आंसू आता है, कृष्ण को देख. These are secondary, because without some, maybe some, due to some material emotions, he may cry also. अभी हम कुत्ता हमारे पीछे पड़ेगा तो रोड में, that time also we get romance. That romance is not spiritual, that is material. You know? So that's why they are mentioned as a secondary qualities. But these are the primary qualities. And first 24 hours we have to be engaged in Lord's service. Second is, one should not be disturbed by any disturbing situations. One should be reserved. Then third, detachment. Oh, this is a third symptom of ecstatic. Okay, can somebody read this?
Karuna Bridget Pro.
Yes, Prabhupada. The senses are always desiring sense enjoyment. But when a devotee develops transcendental love for Krishna, his senses are no longer attracted by material desires.
Okay. The senses are always desiring sense enjoyment. If you are not Krishna conscious, then it will be always, sense gratification. It will be desiring for sense gratification. See, when you leave the bulls or ox free, it will take you to astray here and there. But when you have a goal clear and you control it, like steering, you raise the escalator and you leave the steering, it will not go to. By default, it wants sense enjoyment, senses. But when devotee develops transcendental love for Krishna, his senses are naturally desiring for Krishna's service. And he no longer, if Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness and material desires go ill together. You cannot have material desire also and Krishna consciousness also. Okay.
This state of mind is called detachment. So this is a nice example of there is a nice example of this detachment in connection with the character of King Bharata. In the 5th canto, 14th chapter, verse 43 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Emperor Bharata was so attracted by the beauty of the lotus feet of Krishna that even in his youthful life, he gave up all kinds of attachments to family, children, friends, kingdom, etc., as though they were untouchable, untouchable stools.
Like Bharat Maharaj is how in the young age he there are untouchable stools. Means what? He left like when we pass stool, we will not feel bad, right? We will feel bad that I left my stool back. Similarly, he left all these relationships and never looked back when he left. So devotee should be detached for materialistic relationships. That is a symptom of this is a third symptom of ecstatic love for Krishna. So these are the characteristics we have to see. If somebody is showing this, then he is a pure devotee. So okay, read.
Even Emperor Bharata provides a typical example of detachment. He had everything enjoyable in the material world, but he left it. This means that detachment does not mean artificially keeping oneself aloof and apart from the allurements of attachment. Even in the presence of such allurements, if one can remain unattached by the material attachments, he is called detached. In the beginning, of course, a neophyte devotee must try to keep himself apart from all kinds of alluring attachments. But the real position of the mature devotee is that even in the presence of all allurements, he is not at all attracted. This is the actual criterion of detachment.
Detachment means what? We may be running away from all sense objects,
Hmm.
but how long will you run away? Detachment should be there within, not outside. There may be some situations where we may have to talk in public also with Matajis or anything, but inside we should have detachment. So we cannot tell remove all Matajis from the don't no Matajis are allowed inside the temple. We cannot tell like that. Even in the presence, one should not get allured. Even we can don't give me any donations because I may get disturbed. No, even if we get, we should engage it in Krishna's service. So even in the presence of such allurements, one can remain unattracted by material attachments is called detached. So in your fight may be kept away. But as we progresses, he should, even in the presence of allurements, he should not be like Bhishma Dev. He remained brahmachari even in the Kshatriya life. It's so great. That's why he's called as Mahajan. To remain in the kingdom, the king's palace, and to remain brahmachari is not so easy thing. No, the pridelessness. This is a which quality? Fourth or fifth. Fourth one. Pridelessness. So one should not become proud. The Vidya Vinaya Sampanni. Vidya Vinaya Shoviti. The spiritual knowledge makes one's heart soft, not hard. Once, if he is just taking the material part of the scriptures, like bioting only shlokas, only philosophy, that makes the heart hard. But real spiritual knowledge will develop the heart, makes the heart soft. No? One should not become proud. So, meek and humble person can inherit the kingdom of God. So, this is very, very important. Pridelessness. So, this is the fourth symptom of who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna. Okay, can somebody read this?
When a devotee, in spite of possessing all the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, he is called prideless. In Padma Purana, it is stated that King Bhagirath was the emperor above all other kings. Yet he developed such ecstatic love for Krishna that he became a mendicant and went out begging even to the homes of his political enemies and untouchables. He was so humble that he respectfully bowed down before them.
Bhagirath, king, he used to go and beg even when he was a king, there were some enemies. So that time he used to go and beg in the enemy's home also. Why? What will happen when we beg? Why a brahmachari in Gurukul should go out and beg for Guru? क्या गुरु के पास पैसा नहीं है? Guru cannot provide some food for his own disciples. In Gurukul, why disciples should go out every day and beg? Can anybody tell?
Because that makes one humble, and that pride pride also, whatever pride we have, that also cuts.
So, in the young age only, we should make them prideless. We should not be, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm born of a so and so family, why I need to go out? My father has so much. So, Guru will train the disciple. You are Kshatriya in your home, but here you are a disciple. You have to beg outside. Because अहंकार को चूर्ण चूर्ण कर देते हैं गुरु. No? The spiritual, the guru cuts all material attachments and everything, pride, all these things. That is a job of a guru. No, that's why we should go and beg for Guru's pleasure. Doing Buddhist mission is also begging Guru Dakshina. No? So, in spite of possessing all good qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, is called pridelessness. Like Arjuna. No, we discussed, no, like Ekalavya. What is the difference between Ekalavya and Arjuna? We discussed yesterday. What is the difference between Ekalavya and Arjuna? Why Dronacharya asked Ekalavya to cut off his thumb? Huh? So if you hear from non-devotees, they tell all political answers. Oh, Dronacharya want to make his own disciple more powerful. That's why he cut off his finger. No. Why Dronacharya asked Ekalavya to cut off his finger? Okay, Karnaveshu.
Roji, because one thing is he was utilizing his whatever skill in a wrong place, and like mainly he was kind of shutting the mouth with the arrows of the dog. So he was not doing the correct thing in a correct place, and if this is what something going to set the example, and even I think he has pride also that he can do anything with his arrow skill.
When Dronacharya was walking with Pandavas, he saw that three arrows came and immediately shut the mouth of a dog,
Dog.
which was barking. So they got astonished. Who is that? Who can release Shabdavedi? Hearing the sound, he removed arrows. But Dronacharya, as a guru, he thought, this is impure. It is very not good. Then immediately went to Ekalavya and he said, Ekalavya was thinking that I learned all skills by keeping his vigraha, by his statue. But Dronacharya asked in Dakshina, can you give me Guru Dakshina? Can you cut off, can you give me your thumb, right hand thumb? What is the meaning of this? Giving you the right hand thumb? What is the meaning of giving right hand thumb? Why he asked Dronacharya asked Ekalavya right hand thumb? What is the meaning of this? Cutting off thumb.
You don't want that skill to be used or
So you are not a fit candidate to utilize this skill. You have learned skill. Why Guru did not give you? If Guru is not giving you, means there is something reason. And forcibly taking from Guru, we can learn skills. But learning with one devotee, trains us to be values. Values you cannot learn by reading. You cannot get by reading, by practicing. You will not. You have to serve a devotee. You have to be under him. Bhagavad Gita, you can learn yourself, but you may have theoretical knowledge, but you will not see practical examples. So, Dronacharya said here there is no comparison between Ekalavya and Arjuna. Arjuna is a pure devotee. Naranarayan Rishi means Nara is an eternal associate of the Lord. Where is this Ekalavya and where is the Arjuna? There is not even little comparison. Arjuna is a pure devotee. We should not see in the terms of skills because he has a guru's blessings. जिसको गुरु का blessing मिलता है भाग्य. It's a mercy. It's a auspicious path. Not by just preaching and making devotees is not our ultimate goal. But to remain ourselves a devotee is very important. And to remain a servant of devotees, accepting their instructions, accepting their guidance is very important than skills. The skill is material, but this surrender is very spiritual. When a devotee, in spite of opposing all qualities and pure realization, is not proud of his position, is called pridelessness. When the Arjuna was fighting, he released the arrow at the lotus feet of Dronacharya. And Dronacharya blessed him. May you be victorious. And he released arrow at the feet of Bhishma, lotus feet of Bhishma. Then Bhishma blessed. May you be victorious. Arjuna was not proud of his skill and his support. Arjuna did not become proud. I have Krishna. See, why I need anybody's. See, Krishna is becoming a chariot driver for me. He could have said. But Arjuna never became proud. That is a devotee. Skill-wise, we should not see Vaishnavas. We should see the values. In Padma Purana, can somebody read this? We have read. So the Bhagirath was begging from the homes of even political enemies and untouchables, respectfully bowing down before them, or enemies. Can you just bow down to a person who somebody is not respecting you? That is pridelessness. So in our in our Indian culture, that is a training that even if enemy comes in our home, should receive it. We should receive them without any enemy. Like Pandavas and Kauravas, they used to meet in the night. Daytime they used to fight. There is no enmity. Okay, so, there are similar instances in the history of India. Even very recently, about 200 years or less, one big landlord known as Lal Babu, a Kolkata landholder, became a Vaishnava and lived in Vrindavan. He was also begging from door to door, even at the homes of his political enemies. ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत लंबा, long back examples we should not recently also. Can somebody read this?
Begging involves being ready to be insulted by persons to whose home one has come. So that is natural. But one has to tolerate such insults for the sake of Krishna. The devotee of Krishna can accept any position in the service of Krishna.
So Guru trains disciple to go out and beg. Now he will tell, hey, wait. You come after half an hour. Till now, bhoga is not offered. Somebody may give stale food sometimes. You cannot complain. Please give me hot rice. Please give me some paneer sabji. You cannot beg like that. You give some butter halwa. Mm. Carrot halwa. So we should begging. You will not get any what you are desiring. Sometimes big rice, small rice. Somebody is giving hot items. Somebody is giving cold items. So we cannot predict. So begging means ready to be insulted by persons to whose home one has come. That is natural. That's why book distribution में बोले book ले लो क्या करोगे ले लो so we cannot tell, we cannot force. ऐसा था they will scold us. So we have to tolerate. We cannot show our pride. So it is good for book distribution is really begging for Krishna. There is a symptom that this is the fourth symptom to be pridelessness of who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna. So Rupa Goswami is giving such good examples, and Prabhupada is also adding some examples like the biggest landlord in the Calcutta is going to Vrindavan and begging. And in our practical, in our lives also, we can see like Revati Prabhu in our temple is a 10 out of 10 pointer gold medalist, and serving in the temple, IITians, big IITians. So they are just becoming like insignificant services they do. They are not proud. So to create such people is not so easy thing. To create one IITian into not without any pride, to give up all their material occupations is not so easy task. So the greatness of that person who make even under his people also become prideless. Some people, damba and darpa, dambo darpo abhimanasya krodapparasya mevacha ajnanam javijatasya partha sampadam asuri. Asuri lonka gune, becoming pride. Pride is a very bad quality. One should damba and darpa. Damba means pride. What is darpa? Darpa. What is difference between damba and darpa? Have you learned this verse? Dambo darpo abhimanasya krodha parasya mevacha ajnanam cha vijadasya partha sampadamasurim. So this damba means who has qualification, and because of that qualification or skill is becoming proud. And darpa means image. That is not real. Darpa image. That is image, not original. So the person who don't have that qualification or skill but still becoming pride, that is called darpa. Have you seen example any people who don't have qualities, good qualities, but still they themselves think that I'm having good qualities? That is darpa.
Guruji, in Kali Yuga, Brahmanas think that they are great big Brahmanas, and they have some pride that we are from Brahmana family, but they don't have any Brahmana nature or
So proud,
qualities.
but they eat non-veg and everything.
Yeah.
They break 4 eggs, but still they think that we are from so and so big family. So that pride is not a devotion. So this, we should not imitate pure devotees. Like some people imitate IIT devotees, IITians. Their natural inclination to bad verses and everything. And somebody who is passing out from a normal college, he will imitate him. And just by imitation, one will not get that IIT knowledge. So one should not become proud. Whatever Krishna has given, be satisfied with that. No, but if somebody becomes proud, that is not good. No? So even if you have, one should not become proud. So these are the 4 qualities which we discussed. Then 5 qualities we'll discuss next week. And we'll complete 18th and 19th chapters. Any doubts? These are the very high-fi topics. I am not qualified also, but very bhava, prema, and all. No, we can hear about sadhana bhakti. But whatever Prabhupada and Rupa Goswami are quoting, I'm just discussing with those examples. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Puji.
Thank you.
One question, chat.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
You can ask tomorrow maybe, Anil. First.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.